onlinesports60.com.
Start, obviously it's a pretty difficult, when you get into that style of game and to lose like that. I again with our guys, it's never fun being in that locker room and after these losses, but just letting them know that there's stories in life, man, and we got to just understand where this is at, and there's not a lot of words that can be said. We have to do it with our actions, and so the guys are, we're all obviously disappointed, and that's a tough one.
First up, Dan Wiederer.
Matt, on the strip sack there, second to last drive, I'm curious your decision-making process to throw it there, your communication before that play, and then what you saw unfold.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's 3rd and 4, and we have to, we're backed up where we don't really have the field position. So we have to get a first down. We have to make them use their timeouts. And, we ran a play that's good versus all coverages. It's if they show man, great. It has answers versus 0. And then if they play zone, we got answers there as well. So we felt good with that. And it's just a play, at least what I saw from the Jumbotron afterwards, is kid made a good play around the edge and was able to swipe his arm out and make a play. I'd have to go back and see, as far as the pushing up in the pocket and other guys are within the route and where that was. But we had to stay aggressive there and get first downs to make them use their timeouts and try to end with the football and win the game.
Is there anything you say on the headset before that play goes off?
No. I think the biggest thing is just that play for us is it's day one training camp, and it's something that all those guys know inside out.
JJ.
Matt, we heard you guys use the word embarrassing a lot after the game last Sunday. I guess, what does this feel like? What does a loss like this now feel like, 6 in a row coming off the last one? Yeah. This one, just the way it ended. I mean, we've been on the other end of so many of these, and now to have a lead like this and lose this way, it stings. It hurts. They all sting. They all hurt. And I think you could feel the excitement on the sideline for our guys to come out and have that energy and be able to put points up on the board. I thought our guys, we did that at on the offensive side of the ball. I felt like we were getting first downs and we were moving the sticks, and then we were getting touchdowns. And so that part was good. And it's we knew there's going to be games like this where we got to score points, but it's certainly one that hurts, and that's stating the obvious.
Jason Leisure.
Matt, why is this team falling apart the last 2 seasons?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that for us, all I know about is who our players are as people and how they handle this stuff. And it's not because of a want. I know that, and so this is difficult, man. This is the life in sports, and it's not easy. It's not fun when you lose. And the only thing you can do is continue to support each other. Just fight for one another and understand that it's not because of lack of trying.
Pat Finley.
Matt, you said before that you understand that questions about your job status is part of the deal here. With another loss, what are your feelings about that? Are you worried for your job?
Again, I don't get into any speculation on any of that. My job is to do is to make sure that each and every week I'm giving it everything I can as a coach and as a leader, with these guys. So I have to make sure that I do that, and any other thing that's a distraction that would be taken away from our team, and that would be not good for me or them. And I don't even get into that.
Mark Potash.
Matt, your defense gave up 460 yards. Are you surprised, stunned, disappointed? What's the emotion that explains your response to that performance?
Well, we're playing a good offense and a good quarterback, but I'll have to go back and watch the tape and see exactly where that was. I thought early on, what it felt like for me was just you saw, 3 or 4 3rd and 10 pluses that they converted. I thought that was big there with some of those. We got them into where we wanted them with 3rd down, but we weren't able to get off the field with those 3rd down conversions. So that right there is when you look back and see that. And then, you know, the one drive where we had them, I think they were at the -4 yard line towards the end of the game, and they went down there and scored right before the 2-minute. That's the one probably that you know, we'll look back at and say, man, you know, being able to get them to take more time off the clock and or, you know, hold them to at least minimum a field goal. But you know, I have a lot of belief in these guys. I love these guys to death, and regardless of the side of the ball, that's where I'm at with them, and they know that, and that's where this is right now, you know.
Jeff Dickerson.
Yeah, Matt.
Hey, Jeff, we can't hear you. We're going to come back to you here.
Up a little bit on what Pat said. You got 4. Okay.
We're going to go to Brad Biggs.
Hey, Matt, I know you said you want to be able to watch the tape to see some of the things on defense, but how do you account for the pass rush, you know, failing to get home in so many games this season with some high dollar guys for you lining up front there?
Yeah, I know. You know, when I say going back to watch the tape, a lot of that is to see, you know, you go back and you watch and you say, okay, are we winning our one-on-one battles? And so, because teams are going to scheme, they're going to have stuff with Khalil and with 96 with Akeem, where they're making different, you know, jet protection chips and that sort of thing, helping guys out. So I like to see. I go back and watch. Okay, are we using more coverage, enabling our guys to win their one-on-ones? And then if we are we winning our one-on-ones? If we're not winning our one-on-ones, why is it? And then, you know, do we need to create some or manipulate some with blitzes and fire zones and cover zero, stuff like that? So that's where it's hard from the sideline in the game to see that part of it. And that's what I go back and watch and get a feel for, is how that works together with the coverage.
A couple more for Coach. We're going to go Jeff Dickerson.
We're going to end around here with Jason's computer. Sorry about that. So, Matt, you know, you do have 4 games left. So how do you salvage these final 4 games so it doesn't just become a nonstop narrative of, is this guy going to get fired? Is this guy going to get fired? How do you salvage these last 4 weeks, which still are an opportunity that's in front of you guys? Yeah, is doing just that. I mean, we talked all week. We talked all week about going 1-0 and finishing. We talked about both of those things, and you know, we didn't do that. So for us, again, this you have to look at it as a week by week deal for our team and where we're at and controlling what we can control. So the only thing that I can control right now for me is making sure that these guys understand the fight and they know the care and where all that stuff's at. And then we all each got to do our part. You know, it can't just be one person. We all got to do it together. And you can't worry about that other stuff. You got to worry about what's in front of you. And is this right now a difficult time? You're damn right it is. You know, it really is. It's hard. It challenges you in a lot of different ways. And that's just being as real as I can be. You know, it's hard, but this is also why we're in the positions that we're in, is to be able to let these guys see the authenticity of your belief and trust in them. And I think the easy way out is for, you know, people in different positions like myself as a head coach is just to chalk it up and say, man, it just wasn't our year. But that'll never happen with me and our guys. And they feed off of that. And that's all we can do. So the belief, the trust, and that we have to finish strong and just understand that that's what we have left. That's what's been given to us. So that's what we got to do.
Thanks for your time, Coach.
Clarkism, spoken word Sunday by the creative thought scientists. You know, in a horror movie, everyone doesn't survive. The ones who do are the ones that keep going with the staying power. The ones that find a way, same way in life. The ones who make it are the ones that find a way. This is why in the book of Psalms it states, stay with the Almighty, take heart, don't quit. I'll say it again, stay with the Almighty, staying power. Go get it. I'm your guy, D. Clark, motivated and blessed. Soak it up. I am.
Relax. reset, rejuvenate. Go to a link right now to restart your life. TheRewindSports60.com. What are you waiting for? Hope to see you soon. The Rewind Sports 60. TheRewindSports60.com.
Mitch, on the strip sack, I'm curious what you were looking for on that play as it came to happen, and then obviously what happened with Aquara coming around the bend there.
Yeah, obviously I lost the ball, and I was just talking about this play. So the coaching point is 2 hands on the ball in the pocket, which I'm always trying to do. I think I was just separating to where I was going to throw. I saw Anthony Miller over the middle, so I don't know if I was pump faking and clutching it or if I was going to pull the trigger. And time was just running out. He made a good play. Credit goes to them, and I just got to take care of the football. I mean, we emphasize that as an offense, but sometimes players make plays, and you got to give them credit for that. But I was trying to take care of the football, and it was just an unfortunate situation, but it happens.
JJ.
Mitch, you've been through one coaching change already here in Chicago. Do you think about that at all again with Coach Nagy right now? And if you do, how do you handle that?
I'm taking it one day at a time. That's all we're promised, and my job is to continue to make sure this team is sticking together, make sure these leaders are sticking together, and we'll just continue to uplift our teammates and the people in our building. We're in a tough situation. Obviously, we don't want to be in this situation, but I don't believe negativity or holding your head down is going to help us get out of this. So you got to believe that we're going to turn around. I think continue to stay positive and just continue to work harder will help us turn around. So that's what I'm focused on, and just taking it one day at a time, and then that's it.
Mike Berman.
Mitch, you'd played virtually a mistake-free game until that last moment there. How do you kind of summarize what you did on the field today?
I only heard the last part of your question. How do I summarize?
I said sorry if it's not working well. You played virtually mistake-free game the entire way, and then the one mistake at the end. How do you summarize, put into context your game today?
Yeah, you'd like to have that now. You'd like to not have that one mistake at the end, obviously. I thought I went out there, I played efficient today. I thought our offense was efficient today. I thought we did a good job of mixing in the run with the pass, and I thought we were balanced. I thought the O-line did a great job of protecting and establishing the run game. I thought our backs ran really hard. David and CP ran their tails off. So it was really fun to see. It was fun to watch and be a part of. So we had one mistake at the end, ball security. So we emphasize that and keep working the fundamentals. But that was my goal today, to go out there, play efficient, and try to be mistake-free. And we had one at the end that hurt us. But I think we can continue to keep looking at the positives. And we keep making leaps as offense, but we got to continue to just keep getting better and keep scoring more points. And I think if we continue to play with that efficiency, that good things will happen. You got to believe that.
Jason Leisure.
Mitch, why have the fumbles continued to be an issue for you? Why hasn't that gotten fixed?
Continue to be an issue. I mean, it was last week and this week. So I'm emphasizing ball security in practice. That's something I always do, protecting the ball on the football. I thought the guy made a good play. I was about to get ready to throw. I had one hand on the football, and he must have timed it perfectly. So I don't think it's an ongoing problem. I think you go back and watch the film, and sometimes the defensive players make good plays. So give them credit and move on. I think we still had a chance to win the game at the end, and that's all you can ask for. But we gotta play better in all three phases, and we gotta always continue to take care of the football. But I'm not dwelling on that.
Pat Finley.
Mitch, you've been through a lot this year. What are your emotions like right now after the way that ended?
I don't know. I feel kind of just mentally hardened throughout this whole process. There's just a lot of ups and downs throughout the season and with everything that's happened. And I just feel like I'm in control of my emotions, and I just want to continue to be positive and make sure I'm lifting up my teammates, and so we can get this thing going in the right direction. But it obviously hasn't gone our way, but you just look back at the things you can control, and that's all I'm trying to do. So emotionally, I feel stable, I guess.
Couple more. Kevin Fishbane.
Mitch, on the 4th and 1 there at the end of the game, obviously David had a great game up to that point. What are you thinking just about that call, and then just kind of the result of all that? Obviously, you guys are kind of in a little bit of a rhythm at that point.
Yeah, I think we were going down, moving the football. I mean, I'm good with that. If you're telling me it's 1 yard and we're handing the ball to David Montgomery, my money's on him every time, and our offensive line. Doesn't matter what the situation is. So I think, again, you got to give them credit. They made the play, we didn't. I think it's simple as that. But if we were to do it all over again, my money would be on David and our offensive line to run that again. So credit goes to them.
Last one. Dan, go ahead.
Mitch, when you realized that last play was short and you guys had been up 10, late into the fourth quarter, and you realized that was how the day was going to end, how do you describe what that feeling was going back to the sideline?
I think I was just in shock a little bit. I thought we were pretty much in control the whole game, and just I was in shock because I felt like we were going to win that one. So we drove down. We were in control of most of the game, and they took the lead late. But I just believed that we were going to go down and get a score, and we didn't. So I think I was just a little shocked and disappointed, obviously.
Thanks, Mitch.
All right, guys.
The Rewind Sports 60.
I want to take this time to say thank you so very much for watching the Rewind Sports 60 channel. All sports, all day, encore presentation, and much, much more. Thank you so very much for your continuous support. Continue to watch, continue to support. Stay safe, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great rest of your day, and may God bless you. Now, back to the Rewind Sports 60 channel.
TheRewindSports60.com.
It's the freshest radio show in town. Feeling marvelous, I've been with Jerry Riles. It's the freshest radio show in town. Feeling marvelous, I've been with Jerry Riles. WCPT. WCPT.
This the coldest sports show. You were getting the hour from 6 p.m. to 7. Chillin' with Lauren Cox and the man Marvelous. Shout out to Mr. Riles and the Italian style. You what sports is the only politic.
WCPT. WCPT. It's the freshest radio show in town. Feeling marvelous, I've been with Jerry Riles. It's the freshest radio show in town. Feeling marvelous, I've been with Jerry Riles.
Mike Davis in the National Football League in percentage of yards after contact. No contact yet for Montgomery as he makes guys miss. Now the stiff arm as he dives for the pylon and that's a touchdown. What a run by David Montgomery. 13 yards with a lot of work and a 9-0 lead. Montgomery working his way over the right side towards the goal line, and he's in for the touchdown. David Montgomery breaks the plane for the second time today. Quick snap, Trubisky dumps it short, Kmet up the sideline, Kmet into the end zone. That's a Bears touchdown. And all the way up the tunnel for Cole Kmet. So there's a responsibility as Kmet is getting ready to play. Is he going to Wrigley Field? Patterson in the backfield again. Cordell Patterson breaks it to the outside and he'll walk it in for the touchdown. Okwara had a shot at him, but Cordell Patterson stepped through the attempt and takes it in for 6. Mitchell Trubisky in trouble. It's a strip. Wow. The ball is out. The ball is out inside the 10-yard line. A strip sack, and it's recovered by the Lions. Romeo Okwara with the strip sack, and the Bears coughed it up inside the 10.
Boy, this is just a great effort by Romeo Okwara, getting a nice power rush and laying it out on the line, knocking the ball out of Mitchell Trubisky's hands. Look at this effort. Just tremendous. And having the vision and the athletic ability to reach for that football. What an effort. And what a play. What a play by the Lions.
Matthew Stafford. Oh my gosh, I've got to get my helmet.
Welcome everybody to the Rewind Sports 60. You heard it right, the freshest sports show in town. Unfortunately, this is another Bears losing Sunday. However, we are broadcasting live from our 8:20 a.m. WCPT studios. Welcome to the fastest hour in sports, the Rewind Sports. You can follow us live on 8:20 a.m. or therewindsports.com on Facebook. And give us a call because I know you guys have something to say about this unfortunate Bears loss this Sunday against the Detroit Lions. Give us a call, 773-763-9278. I'm your host, Lauren Cox, and I'm here with my esteemed panel, Dan Marver, the marvelous one. Dan, I know your heart's breaking, but talk to me a bit about what you thought about this loss today.
Where do I begin, Lauren? Well, I mean, obviously, they look better than they have in past weeks, albeit against arguably the worst team in the National Football Conference, the Detroit Lions, who had been shut out the previous week by Carolina. Mm-hmm. So it was encouraging in that respect, but the end result was demoralizing. I mean, they did so many good things, and some simple things like stepping out of bounds, a yard before a first down, and a key fumble, you know, were the things that turned it around. But there were a lot of good things they did. But the end result is what matters, and they lost.
They lost, but he has never lost in our eyes, ladies and gentlemen. Jerry Riles, the amazing Jerry Riles. Jerry, what do you think about the Bears coming off of this tough loss against the Detroit Lions today?
Well, first of all, Lauren, it's always a pleasure and a delight to see your beautiful smile in the great studios of WCPT 820 AM. And, of course, the marvelous
one. How about me?
I just said, and, of course, the marvelous one.
He was coming to you.
It's always great to see both of you on a Sunday night, despite the outcome of a Bear game. And, you know, Devin Tingle, goes without saying, no question about it. But as far as your question is concerned, Lauren, this one was very, very tough and very, very difficult. And I think I may be able to speak for most of the Bear fans, many of the Bear fans here in the Chicagoland area, when I say, and I asked Marvelous before we started the show, we were just waiting for that other shoe to fall. It was just waiting. You were just waiting for the other shoe to fall, and it fell. It fell, and of course the Bears fall again, 34-30, to the Detroit Lions over at Soldier Field to drop their 6th straight contest. Their 6th straight contest, Lauren.
Yep. Oh, don't I know?
And what continues to ring in my head, Lauren and Marvelous, is when the Bears are 5-1, and they're doing Club Dub. Hey, enjoy yourself. Hey, have fun. Enjoy this. Then they go 5-2. Oh, it's okay. Hey, look, we're still 5-2. And it still rings in my head. It still rings in my head. What's the record now, Marvelous?
5-7.
Oh, jeez. Marvelous. Lauren. They're going in the wrong direction.
Don't say that out loud.
They're going in the wrong direction.
That sounds worse than I thought.
This is the fastest hour in sports conversation, so we don't have much time. But
the Bears don't have much time either to turn this thing around.
There you go. But no, Lauren. If you listen to the Bears and Matt Nagy, we got time. We still got time.
Now, this is so incredibly serious, guys, because they are just a lot worse than we thought. I mean, at first I'm like, okay, the O-line's bad. They need a quarterback. Nagy does too much. But this is deeper than that, because it's no way in the world they should have lost this game. No way they should have lost this game. And they had it, and then they were basically playing like F. They didn't give it. You know what? I'll put it politically correct. They played very resigned, in my opinion.
Pedestrian.
Worse than pedestrian. And then I'm like, okay, it's something else going on here. We need to find it's something else beyond what we see. And then I heard that Nagy, he called the defense out, and then he had to go back and double back to the defense and apologize because they got mad. And I'm like, they got drama. And it's showing. It's obvious. And then I understood why they're playing like they're resigned, because they don't give a F. They don't.
They still get paid.
And then Mac is out. Did Nix play? Is he back?
Nick Foles?
No.
Who'd you say?
Hicks.
Akeem Hicks. Yeah, he played.
Yeah, well.
He played.
It wasn't good.
Lauren, it's what you
Mac
just
with
said.
the hobble back. They're like, we ain't really winning no way right now. So
you think that's the attitude of the defense?
It was obvious.
They gave up 406 yards to the Detroit Lions.
34 points to the Lions.
And
they were playing well. I mean, I won't say they were playing well, but they were winning.
No, yeah. They were winning 30-20.
What's going on with him?
They were winning 30-20 in the fourth quarter, and I tell you, it's a matter, and like the late Dennis Green, may he rest in peace.
The Bears are what we thought they were.
That's it.
The Bears are what we thought they were.
That's it.
Don't say. No, they started playing worse than the Bears. That's when I knew it was a real damn problem.
No,
I mean, seriously.
But wait a minute, Lauren, are you hinting that there was a problem even leading into this game, Detroit, between?
I'm not hinting. What are you
saying there?
Obvious. Yes, it's some other stuff going on.
Here's the
beyond the talent or lack thereof.
Well, Monday night was an embarrassment. We haven't even covered that game.
Sure.
The Green Bay game.
And I got to say, one thing I have to say is kudos to either Matt Nagy or Bears organization up there. I have to say kudos to them, because I really, truly believe they listen to the show, the Rewind Sports 60, every Sunday at 6 p.m. Because after that debacle in Green Bay, and you heard Matt Nagy come out, he said exactly what we said on the show prior to that you got to have some pride. You gotta take some pride in what you're doing. And he said frickin' about 3-4 times. And that's the word that we use here. Frickin'. I'm frickin' tired of this. I'm frickin' tired of that.
Frickin' tired of the Bears.
So I believe that congratulations. Thank you so very much for listening to the show. We appreciate it. Now, you need to take a little bit more from us. Here's the deal, Lauren. Here's the deal. Marvelous. The Bears were looking pretty. They scored 30 points.
Bill called a good game.
They scored 30 points. So guess what I'm doing? I'm sitting in my living room on the sofa, and I'm like, you know what? Who am I going to get game balls out to? Because they're looking fantastic. They finally listened to us and let Montgomery run the freaking football. They let him run the football.
He had 11, I think, heading into the...
Yeah, he had 11 carries for 62 yards, 5.6 average in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh,
and
wait
then
a minute.
You're like, come on, 25.
Wait a minute. I'm like, whoa. And that's so,
they didn't get to 25.
Matt Nagy, he got out of his own way. He got out of his own way because they called some plays that we haven't seen.
Yep.
And the wideout Miller. He said either yesterday or Thursday, Friday or Thursday. He said, "Hey, listen, why don't we just run the plays we run in practice?" He said this. He goes, "I'm going there." He said this. He said, "I'm going there. Why don't we just run the plays that we run in practice? Because we run them pretty well in practice, but we don't use them in the game." So he called out the coaches. He called out the coaches. And evidently, they listened because the plays that the Bears were running today, the plays the Bears were running today, they ran the rock. This kid Montgomery gets the rock 11 times for 62 yards in the first half. Yes. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Cordell Patterson, the kid, they mixing up the running game with these two cats. They're like, okay, let's move the football. Let's give the offensive line an opportunity to do what we think they should be able to do, and that's run block. They were effective. They give Mitchell Trubisky the start, and they say, okay, kid, only thing you have to do, Mitch, is just, we're going to tell you to go here, you go here. Medium range passes. Dink and dunk here. Just run the offense efficiently. Don't try to roll out. Don't try to go downfield. Don't try any of that stuff.
What about getting out the pocket? Can he get out the pocket though?
It was a great game plan that the Bears had put together, and we see the result. We saw the result. But then Matt Nagy, who stepped aside, got out of his own way, Lauren. He made a mistake and got back.
But he did it.
He made a mistake. Exactly. But he made a mistake and got back in his own way, and he called. No, why did he have to do that? Why? He
Continue to be an issue. I mean,
this is Trubisky, but this isn't the play I was looking for.
I'm emphasizing ball security in practice. That's something I always do, protecting the ball on the football. I thought the guy made a good play.
Yeah, sure he did.
To get ready to throw. I had one hand on the football, and he must have timed it perfectly. So I don't think it's an ongoing problem. I think
this is Matt Nagy getting in his own way.
Mitchell Trubisky in trouble. It's a strip. The ball is out. The ball is out inside the 10-yard line. A strip sack, and it's recovered by the Lions. Romeo Okwara with the strip sack, and the Bears coughed it up inside the 10. Boy, this is just a great effort by Romeo Okwara.
Highlights
getting a nice
courtesy
power
of Fox.
rush and laying it out on the line, knocking the ball out of Mitchell Trubisky's hands. Look at this effort. Just tremendous.
Not Freddie Krueger, but I like
and having the vision and the athletic ability to reach for that football.
Lauren Oakman doing sideline.
What an effort. And what a play. What a play by the Lions.
Help me out here.
Stafford. Oh my gosh. I'm going to get my helmet.
Help me out here. They were calling they managed the game well. They called the right plays when they had to. They were winning. Why in the hell? And again, you just talked about it. David Montgomery, 11 rushes for 62 yards in the first half. He had 17 carries. What are the numbers here? He had 17 carries for 72 yards. So the Detroit Lions made adjustments when they went into the locker room. They made adjustments, but the kid was still carrying people. He was still moving the pile. Why in the hell would you not give him the freaking rock?
Well, I'm telling you, we can talk about this. We can dissect it all day long. As soon as the game was over, people were calling for people to get fired.
Right. Yes.
So let's just get right to it.
Get to it.
Fire everybody. Who should be fired? Because are they going to fire? I I want to pose to you guys, Dan.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you first. What's the downside to firing their butts right now? What's the downside to this?
It worked for Detroit. They had they had a new coach today who ended up
Bingo.
winning, so
That's
one
what
thing.
really made it stink.
But I mean, but everything, it's fun. I mean, they got 100. It's the most yards they've had as far as I know this year rushing, 140 yards, which isn't that great, but it was still their best effort. And the defense actually wasn't as good as usual. They gave up 460 yards.
They're tired.
Yeah, well,
they're hurt.
They're mad.
And listen, I heard, and I'll get to your firing question, but I heard people talking on sports talk radio, and I get it, I understand, but they're saying the $260 million that you're paying some top players on the defensive side of the ball, where the hell were they? Well, Akeem Hicks, we talked about him, the hammy. If you ever had a hamstring, you're not going to be 100%. I understand that. It's the National Football League. You're getting paid top dollar, but you're not always going to play at the top billing. You're not going to do it. I understand that. But before you start throwing dirt on the defensive side of the football, before you even start doing that, we're talking about pink slips. Before you start pointing the fingers at this defense, and we talked to Quentin Demps, who played in the National Football League for 10 years, played with Chicago Bears, the beloved. He said by Thanksgiving, you're going to start to see some things shake up. And we're seeing things shake up.
Aren't we?
These guys, Lauren started the show off by saying drama. There's drama up there at Hallis Hall. There is drama. I don't give a... And listen, I'm on my soapbox, Lauren, so help me out here. Listen, I'm tired of this. I swear to you, as long as I've been watching sports, as long as I play sports, not at the highest level, as long as I've been involved with sports, listen to me clearly. And I hope the Bears are listening. Listen to me clearly. You cannot win any game. You cannot, and I don't care if it's football, baseball, basketball, hockey, tiddlywinks, or whatever the case may be. You will not be able to win a game off of cliches. So stop it with the cliches. Oh, we got each other's back. Oh, we're playing hard. Oh, it's finished. Oh, these guys know we're never going to turn our back on each other. The hell with that. The hell with that. If you want to have a candy store and kumbaya and hold hands, then take your ass to church. This isn't church. And Matt Nagy, listen to me. Listen to me. This is not Kansas City. I wish it was Kansas City, but this is not Kansas City. This is Chicago. Do you understand? We take no prisoners. We have the greatest running back in the history of the sport. Doing what? Running the football. Run the damn football. And as far as quarterbacks are concerned, Sid Luckman. He's Sid Luckman. People don't even know who he is. And we have to hang our hat on him as our quarterback of this illustrious franchise. And Ryan Pace, you're going to give us a guy in this freaking Mitchell Trubisky? Help me out here. Help me out here. Wait. Help me out here. No, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. Listen to me. Mitchell Trubisky, I don't want to hear you anymore. I really don't want to hear you anymore. But when I do hear you, I don't want to hear you telling me, well, I got to protect the football. I got to protect the football. I got to hold it with two hands. Listen, I went to the greatest university in the history of mankind, the Ohio State University. This kid should be a Heisman Trophy candidate who's the quarterback right now, Justin Fields. He played against Michigan State this weekend, kicked their ass all over the field with 23 players out because of COVID. Justin Fields, he's still in college. He scored a running touchdown, ladies and gentlemen. Doing what? Scrambling. He held the ball in his hands, both of them. He held the ball with two hands, running around, scrambling against the Spartan defense, and he scored. He scored. You're playing in the National Football League. You're playing in the National Football League, and you're still telling me in your third or fourth year? You're still telling me as a starting quarterback in the National Football League for the Chicago Bears, I gotta protect the football. If you tell me that one more time, I swear to you, I will come up to Hallis Hall myself and knock the hell out of you.
Well, you're going to see that next week. Because Deshaun Watson will be in Soldier Field.
Stop
it, man!
Please.
You got to look ahead, man. This is over.
What? Okay, so who else are they playing?
They play Minnesota, Jacksonville, and Green Bay after that.
Now, okay, so I have some major concerns here.
You know?
One of them being, why I say they need to shake stuff up, I almost said something else, was because they could keep losing. This is the first time they've lost 6 games in a row since 2002. This is really bad. And if they don't do some dramatic action, they could continue to lose and spiral. And who wants that? Come on. No, this is not going to work. What if they keep losing?
Who gets pink slips for you?
Everybody. Everybody. Just totally clean house. As many people as possible.
As long as nobody gets sick. That's another factor.
Here's the deal. We got Bruce Heron on our TR60 hotline. Joins us every week for Bears Recap. And I'm eager to hear what he's got to say. But here's the deal. This will tell, first of all, this game told you, in my opinion, right then and there, who's to blame. I don't want to hear cliches anymore. I wrote a whole list of freaking cliches down. Watch the tape. I believe in these guys.
No.
Got their backs.
He said that today?
He says this all the time. Finishing. Going 1-0. Do our part. The fight. The care. We all do it together. It's hard.
Oh my God!
And that play, this play that I just played.
That's terrible.
This play that I just played. This one.
It's a Trubisky in trouble. It's a strip. The ball is out. The ball is out inside the 10-yard line. A strip sack, and it's recovered by the Lions. Romeo Okwara with the strip sack, and the Bears cough it up inside the 10.
That play. Matt Nagy in his post-game press conference, he said, "Do we have that? Do we have that?" Nagy on the strip sack.
It's 3rd and 4, and we have to, we're backed up, or we don't really have the field position. So we have to get a first down. We have to make them use their timeouts. And, we ran a play that's good versus all coverages. It's if they show man, great. It has answers versus 0. And then if they play zone, we got answers there as well. So we felt good with that. And it's just a play, at least what I saw from the Jumbotron afterwards, is kid made a good play around the edge and was able to swipe his arm out and make a play.
He said prior to that, he said that that's a play that they've been running since day one in training camp. Oh, we've done that. These guys know this play inside and out. Let me tell you something.
He depressed.
He's
delusional.
He
is depressed.
He's delusional. You
can hear it very clearly. He is out of here.
Lauren, and we're gonna. Bruce Heron's gonna bring us on. He's gone.
There's no fire, no energy. I mean, he just very monotone. This dude is so ready to be up out of here as well. So relieve him of his misery.
You got it. If you've been running this place since day one, training camp, first of all, don't tell me that. Because, as you know, Marvelous, as you know, Lauren, you can run 100 plays 100 times in practice, and they're going to be 99 of them going to be good. But it's called situational football. It's situational. It's a minute 45 left in the freaking football game. Your back is against the wall. You need to get a first down. You're telling me I don't trust my defense.
Yeah.
No, and at this point, you're giving up 460 yards. I can say that. But you're telling me. Now, here, you talk about division.
I don't know.
You talk about division, Lauren. You go, hey, wait a minute. I'm gonna put this game in the hands of Mitchell Trubisky because I trust Mitchell Trubisky. I trust him more than I trust my defense.
Right there,
He's telling everybody, I trust Mitchell Trubisky more than I trust my defense.
Well, when he tried to call him out, then he had to go double back. So what y'all want? He tried to call. My thing is, he got a lot of nerves trying to call somebody out.
Exactly.
You don't tell me nothing.
Here's the deal.
Which is a problem. They're not vested in him. Please.
Here's the deal. And we're going commercial free.
How you gonna try to call him out though? Help me understand that.
Yeah, you looking at me?
Yeah.
Hey, Lauren, I'm scratching my head too. I have no idea. But listen. Darrell Bevell was the head coach for the Detroit Lions today because Matt Patricia got fired last week.
Yep.
Right?
Never should have been hired in the first place,
right.
But go ahead.
But they had enough balls to say, you know what, we're tired of this. You're done. See you later. Darrell Bevel should have been in the position before. The Bears, I think they even interviewed Darrell Bevel before they got Nagy. I think he was involved in the coaching process as far as that's concerned.
Okay.
Here's the deal. If the Bears don't make an announcement tomorrow, that somebody in that building, this is a white sheet, but somebody in that building didn't get their whites. You know how that commercial go? Expired. It should be tomorrow up at Hallis Hall. Fired. If the Bears do not make an announcement tomorrow morning, Monday.
Dag.
Ain't no dag. We lost 6 straight games, Lauren. If the Bears don't make a decision tomorrow, Monday, that somebody in that building who's in a decision-making role, if they don't get their walking papers, it tells you a lot about the franchise and the organization. It tells you a lot about the Bears franchise and the organization. If they don't have enough balls to say somebody in this building is responsible for this. George McCaskey, you're calling the shots up there. Virginia McCaskey, I know you still got your wits about yourself. If somebody in that building tomorrow is not going to somebody's door with their truck backing up and you got a box and say, hey, thank you so very much for your services. We appreciate the work that you put in. We're going in a different direction. Thank you so very much. There's the door. Security, if they don't do that tomorrow, that tells you a lot about the Bears franchise and the Bears organization.
Hey, Jerry, at this point in the season, it would be more like what Detroit did. And I don't think they're going to fire a general manager. There's going to be an ownership change, in the middle of December.
Why?
I mean, I just don't.
What are you waiting for? Christmas?
I don't think it's going to happen.
We're a couple of weeks away from Christmas.
I think what they're going to do, if anything, is just make Pagano the coach and have Laser as the offensive coordinator. That would be the change they would make. It would be kind of like what most other teams do. That would be the only thing they could do in the middle of the season, in my opinion. They're not going to have Pace fired, I don't think, at this point. What I just said is what's going to happen, probably, if anything happens.
So what do you think, like what Jerry was saying, what do you think that this tells you about the organization if they don't pull the trigger? And do you think they're going to do something?
Right.
I don't know with
it's
them.
Just something to shake it up, like what Detroit did. It would be the same kind of situation that they would need to make a change just to shake things up, because this is, continuing. It's like insanity, doing the same thing over and over again with the same result.
Let me give you an example.
Yeah, okay.
So when I moved into my home, I've been living in my home for like 20 plus years, right? In each room, they're nice to me because it's new. But to everyone else, it had the old decor in it, right?
Right.
They're like, well, look at my nice house. And they're like, yeah, it's a nice little house, but it's still got this old-ass decor. Yeah. Now, with this old decor that I have, if I go, well, you know what? If I take this table here in the living room and put it over here in the dining room, it may look a little nice. My point being is, you got a clean house. You have to. Because you can't take Nagy and put him over here and say, Laser, come on in here and call plays, but you're going to use Matt Nagy's playbook. You can't do that. You can't have your players saying, hey, wait a minute. How come we don't use the plays in practice the plays in the game that we can use in practice? You got a clean house. You have to.
Well, I said remove Nagy and make Pagano the coach. Maybe that would help.
When you talk about you can't do it, then now, why?
Well, I mean, are you talking about the general manager?
Get him out of here.
That won't change the on-field, in my opinion. The general manager has to do with who they acquire and the players they put on the field, not the performance of the players that they do have.
Well,
in my opinion.
And that's a very good opinion. I appreciate that. The marvelous one, Dan Marver, the lovely Lauren Cox on our TR60 hotline. He's number one in our hearts. He's number 51 in your program. He's the great Bruce Herron joining us on the TR60 hotline. Bruce, I need a cold one. I stopped drinking, but the Bears are getting me back to drinking, brother. I need a cold one, man. Dude.
You know what? Here we go, Jerry. I think this is a great time for us to start talking about the great Christmas movies that are going to be coming on in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
We just talked about
how Detroit stole a game from us, or how the Grinch stole Christmas.
Oh my God, man! I tell you what, I had a wonderful day planned, man. I got invited over to one of my best friends and all time, Lance Rantala's house. He lives up in Lincoln Park area there, man. Went over to his house, man. We sat out on his deck with overhead heaters and his son, Charlie Rantala, man. I'm telling you what, we had great food. His wife, Amy, fixed, she went out and bought food. We had drinks, cold drinks, and man, we're just ready for a great Bears game.
Can they let us come over? I mean, this sounds real good, Bruce.
How many people were there?
Jeez, y'all was talking about gumbo last week, and now you're having a cookout. Invite us to some of this stuff.
I'm telling you, it's a great atmosphere, man. There's some great folks. But anyway, we got to watching those Bears play today, and I'm telling you, I saw something that it just makes me sick. Being a defensive player, watching our defense give up 400-plus yards, and you know what? We're doing the same thing over and over and over again. You know what? I'm not a Pagano fan. I am not. You know what? We have got to put pressure on the quarterback. When we just let a guy like Stafford sit back there and pick and choose without any pressure, dude, you know what? We're going to give up a lot of yards. It's just ridiculous. It is just absolutely ridiculous. Too much talent on that defense to give up 460-plus yards today. That's ridiculous. You know what? Trubisky didn't play bad today. He lost the ball there in the end, but that's not the thing that lost the game for us. It's all the stuff that happened prior to that, and it's a 460-plus yards. It's the offensive tackle holding when we make a first down. What's wrong with Leno? I mean, come on, man. You've been in the league too long to be doing crazy stuff like that. It's the little things. It's the little things, and the damn defense coordinator calling defenses. You know what? I made a little list here. Let's see. Defense, soft zone, all the soft zone stuff. I mean, they're just. Guys are running to areas, and where there isn't a defensive player, they just sit down because the ball's coming. And that's what they were doing all day. No pressure on the quarterback. No pressure on the quarterback? How can that be? You look at, and you know what? I heard some sports talk right after the game today, and they were talking about Quinn and Mack. I'm watching Khalil Mack today. And I'm telling you something, Khalil played his ass off. But probably 75% of the time, they have somebody chipping on Khalil Mack, and then here comes the tackle. Before he can engage the offensive lineman, he's got somebody chipping on him. It's either the tight end or the back or somebody. They're hitting him while he's engaged with the offensive tackle. He's fighting through two blockers. How about put Khalil Mack over the guard, engage the offensive lineman, and then come around and do a loop just to mix it up. He's strong as a bull and he's quick as a cat. But I'm telling you, man, the defense coordinator's got to do something better than that. This is ridiculous to let them go up and down the field like that all damn day.
Hey, hey man, that's why you're on the Rewind Sports 60. You're the best in the business. Bruce Herron, number 51, former outside linebacker for your Chicago Bears, breaking it down. And you're absolutely right. And I understand, the money that the Bears have spent on the defensive side of the ball. I certainly get it. But Bruce, you played, as you stated, you've played the game, and you know what it takes at the highest level. And at the end, and I told you guys, I hate this, and I'm talking about cliches, but I hate this cliche. Well, they're human too. Yeah, I understand that. I get that. They are human. People always say, well, athletes, they're human too. Yeah, they are human. And in this case, it's right, because Khalil Mack missed a day or two this past week due to a practice due to his back. Mm-hmm. We know that Akeem Hicks was out with a hamstring. These guys in the 12th week of the National Football League, especially during this pandemic, their bodies are banged up. And you're absolutely right. The money that Khalil Mack makes, he earns it, because he's got not just one guy one-on-one. He's got 2 or 3 guys coming at him.
Absolutely.
He's got 2 or 3 guys coming at him.
Khalil Mack is not taking a break. I mean, he's giving everything he has. But damn it, man, the defense coordinator has got to give him some help. Give him a little bit of help. Help the guy out. Man, it's just sickening. It's just absolutely sickening. They play the same defense damn near every snap.
You're right about that, Bruce.
It's terrible, man. It's just terrible.
It's terrible and it's sick. You're absolutely right. Somebody needs to be fired. So I want to ask you, in your estimation, will somebody be fired Monday? And if so, who should they let go first?
Well, I tell you what, I can say this. I mean, you guys have been Bears fans like I have been for a long, long time. Can you remember when the Bears have fired a coach in the middle of the season or at the end of the season, or towards the end of the season, before the season's over with? I don't think it's ever happened. And I don't anticipate that happening now. I really don't.
Well,
I really don't.
You know what?
I just, you know.
And I'm sorry to cut you off, but you're absolutely right. And that's the point, Bruce. That's the point. The Bears have never done anything. It's uncharacteristic for them to do something like that. But the game has changed. The era has changed. The generation has changed. And we're being left behind. If you pick any category in the league, the Bears are 25th or worse. They're 27, 29, 31. They're all the numbers, they're bad. And so if they stay the course, that's what the problem is. They need, listen, the only way to get attention, regardless of whatever it is, somebody's got to take a hit. And you got to do it in a loud way that you're going to shake some people up and wake some people up. If you go about business as usual, you're going to lose your fan base. You're going to lose you're losing the interest. And you're telling people, hey, listen, the White Sox did it. The White Sox did it. Congratulations to the White Sox. Jerry Riles said, I don't give a damn. I don't give a hell. I don't care what anybody says. I'm hiring my old friend who's got a proven track record to come manage this baseball team. He turned some heads. He shook some people up. He woke some people up. But he did something uncharacteristic. The Cubs, they let go Len Casper. He's going over to the White Sox. It shook up Cub Nation because they're like, this guy's been with us for 14, 15 years. And congratulations to Len Casper for coming over to the White Sox. The point of the matter is, you can't stay status quo and expect to be a champion. Champions don't operate that way. And that's where the Bears are going.
Yeah. This experiment with Nagy hasn't worked. I mean, when we had what was that back in 2017? Was that 17? When we went to the playoffs and ended up, you know, with the missed field goal. Every time I think about it, it just brings tears to my eyes. You know, I mean, boy, I tell you, was that? I think that was Khalil Mack's first year with us. Was it 2017 or 18? I'm not sure. Anyway, his first season with us, man. I mean, the team was humming, man. I mean, they were playing some ball, and then we go to the playoffs and we lose in the first round. And I'm saying, you know, we're too good to just get beat in the first round. We're too good. But you know what? It's an example of where we are today. It's an example of the lack of coaching. It's the example of the lack of imagination. I mean, I just, you know, it just hurts my heart, man, to see this mess. It's messy. It's just really messy. And they've got to fix it. But I'm going to tell you guys something. Don't look for anybody to get fired tomorrow. It just, you know, if it happens, it would really surprise me. But it's just not the way the Bears operate. So. Not to say that it shouldn't happen.
Well, I think it's going to happen. I really do.
It's got to happen.
Yeah, Lauren, that's exactly it. It's got to happen.
Because what if they keep losing, Bruce? I mean, this is what
you got. Bruce,
they have to shake this up.
You have to. You cannot tell your fan base. Devin Tingle, our producer, does a fantastic job. He just told me in my earpiece. He said, "Hey, what's trending? The fire." Fire in who's the fire?
Yes.
The Bears and hashtag fire everyone. That's trending since the game ended. Hashtag fire everyone. And Bruce, you said it brought tears to your eyes. I told my wife, I said I want to cry. She said, why you want to cry? I said, I knew it. I know it. Because the Bears don't play 60 minutes of football. I said, I want to cry. She said, there's no reason to be crying. I said, she's a diehard Cub fan. I said, at least, just think if it's the Cubs lose it. Just think if they lose to the White Sox in the World Series. Now you can understand what I'm talking about. Bruce, this is coaching. This is coaching. You play, and either last week or 2 weeks ago, I said the great John Wooden, UCLA, what do you want? 11 championships in 13 years with the Bruins back. He would have this every training camp. He would have the new players come in, Lou Alcindor, however you want to call them. They would unlace their gym shoes and then lace them back up. And they go, Coach, what are we doing this for? We already know our shoe. He said, this is how it starts. This is where it begins. The basics of basics, fundamental. And you do it together, you do it as a team, and you work from there. And you see how many championships the guys won. You have to show your fan base that you mean business. They're talking about all this money that they put on the defensive side of the ball with 2 or 3 players, $260 million. If that money means that much to you, you're going to put your players in the best position to win. And the coaching staff for this Chicago Bears football team, they haven't done it and they aren't doing it. If you don't coach your team to play 60 minutes of football, it's a game of inches. You learn this in Pop Warner. If you don't tell your team to play 60 minutes of football, you're doing them an injustice. You don't have a wide receiver run out of bounds a half a yard. You don't have it happen. Not in the 12th week of the National Football League, Bruce. It cannot happen. Step out of bounds a half a yard short of the yard. No. Something's got to happen tomorrow. If it's not tomorrow morning, it's tomorrow afternoon. If the Bears don't do something, and I don't want them to fire the trainer. I don't want them to fire the conditioning coach. I don't want them to fire the guy emptying the garbage cans in the lunchroom. I don't want it. It's got to be a decision-making person. And listen, I don't condone getting fired. I've been there. It's not a pleasant feeling.
That's what all y'all say when y'all call for people to get fired.
No, it's the truth, though. Getting fired sucks. It sucks. But we've all been there. We've all been there. And if you listen, Lauren, if you're not doing your job, and people are paying money, if I'm writing a check for $260 million and I see what I just watched, I ain't sleeping tonight. I'm not sleeping tonight, and my coaches aren't sleeping tonight.
But it's not too bad to be fired if you have a guaranteed contract.
Well, I don't know what their contract status is. As far I don't think it's all guaranteed if you get fired. They may get a buyout, but I don't give a damn. I'll listen.
Spend the money.
I'd rather eat the money and get some new culture in here than to continue to deal with the debacle. Hey. Get me off the soapbox. Get me off of it, because this is what this game has done to me as a Bear fan, as a Chicagoan. It's an embarrassment.
It's a global pandemic. I mean, we already on edge. This is not right.
Yeah. It's uncalled for. This is stuff that, don't tell me about training camp. Don't tell me about training camp, because this is the end result that we're getting based on the training camp that you did or you didn't have. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear you tell me about, we got to watch film, or in the film, you're watching the Flintstones, you're watching frickin' Popeye and it's the Sailor. I don't know what, you're watching the Jetsons. You're not watching this Bear game, because if you've been watching what we've been watching, you're making adjustments. You're making changes. And evidently, you guys, Lauren, they're watching cartoons up there. They're watching the Three Stooges. They got their popcorn. They're drinking their Dr. Pepper, and they're laughing all the way to the bank. That's what they're doing, because they can't be watching this stuff that we've been watching. They can't.
I know. Bruce, I wanted to ask you, we were talking about, Jerry brought it up earlier, if they don't make any changes Monday, what does this say about ownership? Because we can talk all day long about all of this stuff. It all comes down to the owners and what they want to do. What does this say about them if they don't pull the trigger and make some serious changes come Monday morning?
Well, I've got a super relationship with the McCaskies, with George, with Brian, with Pat, and have from the time that I played for the team. And it's just, you know what? It's not that they don't want to win. That family, they want to win as bad as any fan that's ever been a fan of the Chicago Bears. They want to win that bad. Things haven't worked out. Things haven't worked out as planned for this regime. But I'm telling you, the Bears. But
Bruce, how can you say they want to win that bad? I mean, I don't see it. I can't. We as fans, we've been suffering too long, and then the quarterback issue, and then you come bring in Foles, and it's just too much.
Well, here's the deal. They are not football experts. You know, they're the family, they own the business, but they hire people to do the job for them. When they don't do the job for them, then it's up to them to do something about the people who are making the decisions and have to suffer the consequences of the outcome of the product. From my perspective, that's where they come into play, because you know what, these guys, they are not football minded folks. They are, you know, they run the business part of it, and they hire people to run the football part of it, and that's the operations of the organization. And I just, you know, I know how they work. They don't make decisions from an emotional standpoint. You know, look at a team perform today and say, you know what, we got. I'm so pissed off. This is crazy. I'm going to fire him tomorrow morning as soon as he walks through the door. You know, they just don't do that. And most organizations don't do that. Most organizations don't do that. And you know, to go in and just fire everybody, clean house. Now you got to go out and replace everybody. How do you replace everybody and then come back, pull it together within just a few months? And win.
They don't have to replace everybody, and Detroit just did it. Detroit just did it.
I've heard that today multiple times. They need to go in and just clean house. They need to go in and get rid of everybody. You can't just get rid of everybody. I mean, it just doesn't work like that. And it doesn't help an organization, because to me, that puts you farther behind. It puts you farther behind.
Well, how much? Wait, I got to cut you off again. Go ahead.
Well, you know what, Jerry, I want to hear exactly what's on your mind.
People tune in. No, people tune in and listen to you because you're the expert and you've been there before and you know what it takes, and you've enlightened us. You open up our eyes. But I got to tell you, Bruce, you know, I understand, but every time the Bears, every time they put Mitchell Trubisky under center, they push us back. We're pushed back a year. And every time
but we have no options now, Jerry.
And I get that. But when you're at the bottom, you have to make drastic changes to shake things up, to let the people that are still there, let them know we mean business. During the broadcast today, Chris Spillman said, "Hey, listen, when we talked because they talked to the players, you know, the team, the week of leading up to the game." He said the morale of the Detroit Lions was, when they got rid of Matt Patricia last week, that it was like a breath of fresh air, like somebody opened up the window and some fresh air came in. And Darrell Bevell, he came and said, "Hey, listen, give me a chance. This is a 5-game audition for me, and it's a 5-game audition for you guys as well. We got a new lease in life, albeit the season is short." Sometimes you just need a drastic change, and you just mentioned that the Bears don't do that. They need to be uncharacteristic, and they need to shake some things up. Now, here's what I would do. If I had the purse strings and I had the big pocketbook, and I saw this stuff. But I'm a drastic guy. I'm a risk taker. I step out on the ledge, as you probably know by now. But I'm going to bring Bruce. Since you have a relationship with the McCaskies, I'm going to bring Bruce Heron in to be my player personnel director. Okay, I'm bringing you in to be my player personnel director. Listen, 2020 is out. It's over with. We got to start planning for the future now. I'm bringing you in now. I'm gonna go. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get in my bag of tricks. I say, you know what? What's the most success this franchise has ever had? The most success this franchise has ever had. Oh, it was the '85 Bears. Okay, let me see what I can do. Where's Leslie Frazier? Is he still coaching? Where's Leslie Frazier? I'm calling Leslie Frazier up and say, "Hey, come on in." I'll call Vince Evans. Vince, come on in. You still got some football knowledge. I'll call Richard Dent. "Hey, Rich, you want to come on here and teach these guys how to play on the defensive side of the ball? We got some good talent, but it's about mindset." I'll call Otis Wilson. "Hey, Otis, get your mama boy ass on over here and lace him up." I'll call Dennis McKinnon. "Dennis, can you still run? Teach these boys how to run." I'm telling you, I'll call some old school guys that's gritty and just take any prisoners. I'll bring them in there and say, "This is Bear football. This is Bear culture. This is what it means to put on this Bear uniform."
How about Mike Singletary?
What?
What's Mike Singletary doing?
Bruce, what do you think?
Well, you know, I understand. I understand where you're coming from. I do. Trust me, I do. I understand where you're coming from, but it's just not that simple. It's just not that simple. Because first of all, when you're an elite athlete playing college football, you're the best in college, and then you get drafted to play at the professional rank. You know what? Now you are part of a much more elite product, and so the best of the best are playing. Now, sometimes individuals don't pan out. Sometimes they don't fit. They don't fit at this level. Sometimes an individual doesn't fit within the plans of the organization. They can go from one organization to another, and you know what, and flourish. But just with what do we have? 4 games left to play.
4.
We got 4 games left to play. I mean, to go and just dismantle everything now and expect the team to perform differently, you know. The Bears may be the only team that the Detroit Lions will beat the remainder of the season.
That's even worse.
Right. Well, but the Bears, right? You're right. But you know what? To go, we got 4 games left. To go and dismantle everything, and you know, I don't know. I don't know if that's a really good idea.
Listen, I don't believe in tanking. I don't believe in tanking. But if you lose the rest of the 4 games, you're going to put yourself in position to probably get a decent draft pick. And I told you, Justin Fields with the Ohio State Buckeyes, he was smart enough to know, as a collegiate player, to hold the football with 2 hands when you're scrambling around, and he ended up in the end zone. Look at what the kid from the Cardinals is doing.
Yeah, but you know what? Trubisky wasn't scrambling today when that ball got knocked out of his hand. He wasn't scrambling. But he was actually looking downfield, and he had the ball in his hand, getting ready to cock it, and that's when the ball was knocked out. He didn't see the oncoming rusher.
But that's the problem. That's part of the problem, because
that is part of the problem.
But here's the deal. He's learning on the job, because most quarterbacks, listen, I guarantee you, Pat Mahomes, and I understand Deshaun Watson, I get it. I don't even like the kid, but the Cleveland Brown quarterback, Baker Mayfield. I'm telling you, the kid that got hurt, the Heisman Trophy winner, Joe Burrow, who's out. You feel pressure. An NFL quarterback feels pressure. He may not see him, but he feels pressure, and he knows what he needs to do to make the play work. This kid, he doesn't have it. He doesn't have it. And to put him in a position to try to throw the ball late in the game, deep in your own territory, is a foolish mistake. Give the ball to David Montgomery. That's it.
Yeah, you know what? The second half, I don't know what happened for them to get away from the run, but you know, that was something that was problematic in itself. The play calling to get away from the run when David Montgomery was he was killing the first half. He was killing it. Mm-hmm. Why did you get away from that? Why did you move away from that? And you know what? And when they showed the stats for the entire season and the Bears scoring in the third quarter, they scored 7 points in the third quarter, 1 game this year. In the rest of the games, they scored 0 in the third quarter.
Bruce.
And they did it again today.
Bruce, we got to go. We love you. It's the fastest hour in sports conversation, brother. We'll talk to you again next week.
I don't know why you call me, Jerry, and get me all upset like this.
It's the Bears. Don't blame it on me. It's the Bears.
We need answers,
It's the Bears. Bruce Herron, you're the best. We talk to you next week, brother. We love you. Take care, man.
Take care,
It's the fastest hour in sports conversation. Lauren, final comments?
I'm just going to be waiting with bated breath to see what changes are going to be made on Monday.
Marvelous.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. I mean, I think Bruce is right, though, because the Lions play the Packers, Titans, and Bucks next. They may not win another game.
Just like the commercial, expired. Fired. Monday morning. Devin Tingle, our producer, fantastic job. Folks, have a great rest of your Sunday. Enjoy your week. We'll talk to you. Take care, everybody.
Take me out to the ball game, Hall of Famer Andre Dawson.
All right. Let's hear it from the greatest fans ever. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back Forest Root. Root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Hey, let's get some runs. Thank you.
Still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? All the land of the free and the home of the brave.
TheRewindSports60.com.
Welcome, everyone, to another edition of the Sports Medicine Update, a weekly podcast with yours truly, Jerry Riles, and, of course, the honorable, the sensational, the dynamic, the charismatic Dr. Chad Padromas. Doc, how are you?
Hey, Jerry, I'm good, except all those adjectives. That's you, man. That's not me, but I appreciate it.
I mirror the image is what it is.
All right.
Well, good to see you, and wow, it's 2020. It's been long, it's been challenging, but we're turning the corner, as they say in horse racing. Here they come spinning around the turn, and we're in the month of December, days away from a new year, 2021, Doc. And I know a lot of people are hunkering down, getting ready for the cold weather, the shortened days, and of course the snow here in the Chicagoland area in the Midwest. And of course with the pandemic, COVID-19, shelter in place is definitely in place. And I mean, there are a lot of people with the closings of gyms and workout areas that, they're stuck in the house, but, we still want to keep in shape. We want to still keep active, and we want to keep our bodies and our minds going. So I want to throw it out there to you, what can not only the weekend warrior, but the average mom, dad, aunt, uncle, even the kids, what can they do as we approach the winter months and the cold temperatures and the stay in? What can we all do to try to stay in as much tip-top shape as we possibly can during this time?
So here's the thing. There's two kinds of exercise that have both independently been shown to contribute to longevity, greater health indices. The one is aerobic, getting your heart rate up. The other one is anaerobic, building muscle. And it turns out that anaerobic, building muscle, does just as much for your heart as aerobic. It's pretty interesting. So you want to think about both. Now, Chicago's always been challenging because it's so cold for so many months like now. So with the COVID thing in particular, outside is much better. So what can you do outside? And I mean, it's cold, it's in the 30s, but if you're moving, 30s isn't that cold, you know? So I'll tell you some interesting trends that I think are very fortuitous in light of COVID. So, I mean, walking outside is good. And, you know, go outside, walk, put your mask on. If you're by yourself, I don't think you need a mask. If there's people around, put your mask on, you know, either way. But be outside. You know, the Spanish flu of 1918 clearly showed that people that got outside and exercised were healthier, mortality was less. So exercise really matters. Furthermore, get out and do things because, you know, there's the COVID-15, right? People stay in, they gain weight. We know that mortality is going up from other diseases, and that's exacerbated by gaining weight, staying inside. So here's the thing, roller skating. So when I was a kid in the 50s and 60s, I had a pair of clip-on roller skates, and I wasn't too good. And then the whole thing just died. And then roller blading was born. I don't know when it was born. 70s maybe? I'm not sure. So rollerblading has been around, but roller skating, it turns out, is the sports sensation that's sweeping the nation in 2020. And you can't get them. There's articles in the newspapers. So here's the thing. It's perfect. So here's why. You know, what can you do outside? Well, if there's 2 feet of snow on the ground, not a heck of a lot, maybe, you know. Ice skating is a great thing. But for ice skating, you need rinks. The rinks need to be open. A lot of times there isn't public time. You got to time it. But, you know, roller skating, roller blading, better. But here's the thing. Why the roller skating boom is so good. So what's the difference between the two? The bottom line is that you can go faster on roller blades, but roller skates are safer. And there are those who say it depends, but I'm telling you, and I don't really do fracture trauma work particularly anymore, but, you know, as a practicing orthopedic surgeon of 35 years, when I used to do more of that kind of stuff, I mean, people fall. Here's what happens. When you fall on the ice and put your wrist out, your wrist slides. When you fall on the pavement and put your wrist out, your hand catches and you break your wrist. Not always, but it's really common. That's why they say if you're going to rollerblade, wear wrist guards, other things. So rollerblades are tough. They're inherently less, and it's great. It's a great sport if you can master it. But I'm just speaking as a safety kind of person, right? That rollerblading is harder. The blades, the wheels are narrower than roller skating blades. They are less stable because they're in line, 4 in a row, front to back. Whereas roller skates, they're in a box 2 and 2, as you know, people know. So it's just easier to stand up on roller skates than roller blades. Actually, roller blading, when they first started, people used poles all the time, and then not so much. But so the trade-off is that you can go faster on roller blades. But the question is, you know, why would you want to? You know, I guess, I mean, if you're going down the street, what difference does it make? So with the same amount of energy, you can go faster on rollerblades, true. But the trade-off, I think, is nowhere near worth it. It's harder to stand on them. It's rollerblades, there's no really good way to stop. There is a brake on the back of the rollerblade. So that means you have to go forward and without losing your balance, tilt your foot backward for a brake. And I got to tell you, that's really hard. Roller skates have a brake on the front, so you tilt your foot forward. That's easier. And you can do maneuvers to stop, turning your toes and whatever that are easier. So roller skates are easier to stand on. They're easier to stop with. You're less likely to fall. Most important thing I can tell you is if you fall, don't put your wrist out. Because if you put your wrist out and your hand catches, you've got a significant chance of breaking your wrist. So I think the roller skating boom is great because, again, rollerblading, if you're good at it and if there's dry ground, is great, but it's hard and it's tougher. And I mean, the main thing about fitness is it doesn't do you any good if you've got to be, you know, just a killer athlete to do it, right? And roller skating is much more of an every person thing than rollerblading. So I would say to you, you know, if you're looking for something for Christmas, these are shoes you have to lace up, so they might be kind of hard to buy for people. But my one daughter got a pair of roller skates, and her friends, and she went to college in California, and they're hip and trendy, and they talk back and forth and whatnot. So she's out there practicing, and she loves them. So I don't know exactly what they cost, to tell you the truth. Probably not cheap. But here's the thing: all you need. She was out there yesterday, and it was, I don't know, 32 degrees. She was doing it at night, but it's okay. You get bundled up a little. You get to run around. She was in a parking lot. You don't need an ice skating rink. You don't need good ice. If it's and you can do it outside. The rinks are indoor. You can skate outside, but to be skate outside, you either need artificial ice or you need it to be significantly below 32. And plus, I mean, it's just harder. It's fussier. But there's pavement every place, right? And unless there's snow on the ground, you can do it. So I think it's a great thing. And I mean, how are you going to get an aerobic workout this time of year, right? I mean, you can go to the health club and get in the elliptical and get on the bike, but I don't know. We have an office down in Florida. The gyms are all open in Florida. I don't think they are so much here. But if they are, it's iffy, plus you're inside, right? And you're maybe spreading germs. So get outside. The fresh air is good for you. It's much better COVID wise. You've got fresh air space. You can go out with people. So I absolutely love it. And after my daughter started talking about it, I looked it up and I was surprised. There's articles in the New York Times, every place. So I think to our listeners and viewers, roller skates, go for it. Not that hard. If you fall, just don't put your hand down. Just don't fall on your wrist. Just fall on your butt. God gave us cushioning there for a reason. So I would encourage people to do it. And again, I don't even know what the applicable regulations are in the city. I don't live in Chicago. I live in a suburb, and I can't keep up exactly. But wow, there's no reason why, if you're outside by yourself or with a family member or something, why you shouldn't be able to be outside roller skating. And I mean, I kind of don't think anybody's going to give you a hard time, and it's great for you.
Yeah, I don't think anyone should give you a hard time, especially if you're, minding your own business or you're with, a family member or a friend. And you're getting some exercise, and you might be the envy of the neighborhood.
Yeah.
But Dr. Chad Padromas, orthopedic surgeon on the Sports Medicine Update, a weekly podcast. Yours truly, Jerry Riles. Yeah, the interesting thing about it, and I'm sure a lot of people, our viewers and listeners, probably haven't given it any thought. And so if you want to put this on your Christmas list for yourself, a loved one, I don't even know if you at the office, if you got, the grab bag or anything like that. But this is something that is enjoyable, but also twofold. You can remain, continue to exercise and get some health, get healthy. The interesting thing about the roller skating is I know that lately, and you talked about it being a trend, and your daughter, taking part in California on the West Coast. I know over the past couple of years, a lot of these skateboard parks have been popping up all over the place. And you mentioned Chicago, I believe on the lakefront near the Lakeview area. I think they do have like a skateboard. I was surprised. I think they have a skateboard park there where kids or anyone can go over there and ride their skateboards, their bikes, a rollerblade, or whatever the case may be. So I know the city is trying to accommodate, those residents who are interested in the aerobic activities and exercises and things of that nature. I've certainly seen a lot of people along the way, lakefront, of course, during the warmer months and the warmer temperatures out there skating or rollerblading along the lakefront, which looks fantastic. But I think that's something you've hit on something there, Dr. Chad Padromas. I think a lot of people are probably got something. The light bulb has probably come on in their head now after listening to this.
that 4th and 1 play late in the fourth quarter. Did you feel like you had enough to reach that first down?
Yeah, but I came up short. I let the fellas down, and that's something I got to go rewatch and figure out what I can do to get there. Because at that point, it just takes will and everything you got left in the tank, and I let them boys down. So that's on me.
That's on.
David, obviously you guys had a lot of success running the ball in the first half. Why do you think it was so much tougher in the second half?
I don't know. It's kind of how the game was going. You just try to take what they give you. And, they did a pretty good job stopping the run, doing a lot of Mike run-throughs in the second half. So kudos to them for that.
Colin Kane.
Hey, David, how would you just describe the emotions of the team right now after allowing them to come back like that?
Yeah, that hurt. That one really hurt because everything was going the way we wanted to go early, and it hurt. But it's all about staying together. That's all you can do. I'm saying tough times don't last, but tough people do. So you just got to do whatever you can to stay together and work to persevere.
Joe Lewis.
Yeah, David, with this loss, it makes it quite a bit harder for you all to continue to go into the postseason. What is the mood right now in the locker room with every game going forward?
Just go out, give everything you got, leave it all on the field. That's all you can do. And at the end of the day, regardless of who said they're in control, they're really not God all in control. So whatever God asks of us, asks of me, I'm going to do.
Sean Hammond.
David, what did you see on that first touchdown of yours to get to the pylon there?
I just saw a green grass, so I just dived and scored.
JJ Stankovitz.
David, I'm curious on that play that Mitch fumbled when you get the ball in a half. You sitting there being like, I feel like I should get it here. I feel like I can pick up what's going here.
No, that's not what's going through my head. What's going through my head was what was going through everybody's head. Let's just get a first down, no matter who gets the ball. So we came up short on that one, unfortunately, but you just got to go back and draw board, figure out what you can do to get better.
Joe Lewis.
Disregarding the loss for a second, Dave Montgomery, you still are continue having some of your best few games these past few. Can you take us into what has happened over these past few weeks that has allowed you to play more better than you have in the past?
Just staying together, staying with it, sticking with it, trusting that God is in charge of the path which He is, and just going out there and have fun and trying to play more and more and more for my brothers. Because at the end of the day, that's what you're playing for. So, really nothing changed. Just being more faithful to the process.